All right. So today we're working on using our hips, especially in sparring. Now I know not everyone spars, but we do a lot of grappling and stuff on the ground and wrestling, and in that we also use our hips. The hips are really important for karate, yes. The power comes from our hips. It's one of our main principles. So today we're going to use some sparring techniques to really hone in on this principle and what it really means and how to add in pivoting and all that stuff. So at home you can use, again, your pillows, anything you have. If you only have one pillow, that's okay. If you don't have someone to hold it for you, if you can find a chair or something to prop it on, even just doing it in the air is okay, as long as you get in that practice. So today we're going to work on three main sparring techniques, or just things you can use. We're going to do some hook punches. We'll talk about all of these in more detail in a minute. Hook punches, palm strikes, and some elbow strikes. Now you see when I'm doing these right now, I'm just turning and I get to face you, and then I'm turning and I'm facing all the way away. And that is using my feet and my hips. Alright, so without Miss Rebecca, we'll both do it. For hook punches, it's all in the movement of your legs. We're not swinging it around. We might hit ourselves this way. That's bad self-defense. You don't want to hit someone behind you or around you. So what we're going to do, if you do it with us, remember we're having our gi on, we're doing the video as it plays. We're going to turn and keep our arm completely still. If you see, I'm just keeping my arms out here. I'm going to punch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now you notice there's one more thing I'm doing. It starts with a P and ends with an ibit. What is it, Miss Rebecca?
Pivot.
A pivot! So I'm not only using my hips. If you look at my feet right here, you see that I'm turning. My heel comes off the mat. We know how to pivot. We use this a lot in kicks as well, but we use it while punching too. It's really important to get that extra bit of power. So now if we do 10 more, make sure that you're using your hips and that pivot. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, this is very similar, just for, as we were doing hook punches, to palm strikes and elbow strikes. So for palm strikes, you usually want to be in a front stance. And we're going to, again, keep, like in our katas, we're going to keep our hands open, but they're glued together. See how my fingers are not way out? I'm not doing jazz hands today. It's not jazz hand day. We dance on Sundays. My hands are like little knives. I can chop up cucumbers with my little knives. And I'm going to use the bottom of my palm right here. This really meaty part. If I use my fingers, that's like golf clapping. And we don't want to hurt our fingers. We're going to use the really strong part of our hands. So I'm going to turn them up with my hands together. And I'm going to use that pivot in my hips. I'm going to turn in my front stance. All right, so let's do 10 of those. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Now, this time, we're going to do the same thing, but with elbow strikes. So a few things on elbow strikes. The only thing that, again, changes is what you're doing with your hands. We're still using our hips. We're still using that pivot. So what we're going to do, thumbs down to the bad guy, just like this. We don't like the big bad meanies in here. That's why we get to defend against them. But we're going to tuck those thumbs in. They're not going to go over our knuckles, just right here, right in front. I'm going to go tuck them in right here. And that way we still have the meaty part of my arm showing. This is going to be a soft weapon, hard target. So we're going to, again, turn our hips. We do these in Judo. They're called Judo twists. Judo twists are really beneficial as well for throwing. So this is also practicing our throwing technique. So if we turn, we're going to go 1, 2. If you saw how I moved, I turned 1 and 2. We're going to turn 1 and 2. This time, because it's also a Judo technique, we'll count to 10 in Japanese. All right, count with me if you remember the words. They're always good to memorize. And ichi. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Roku. Shichi. Hachi. Ku. And Ju. Very good. I can't see you at home, but I really hope you're doing it with us. Always learning that technique. So now that we've done them in the air and we know what we're doing with our hands and our feet, our whole body's going to focus in. Remember, we got to focus with the top half of our body, the lower half of our body, everything. So now, as Miss Rebecca holds up the pads, I'll turn a little bit so you can see. Now I'm going to start with my hook punches. They're going to turn. Remember, they're going in the same direction. I'm using my closed fists. Now I can go 1 and 2, 1 and 2. We don't really jab, jab, cross with these. We're going to go back and forth because these are really powerful punches. And for the more advanced belts, this hook punch is in Pinan 3. It's at the very end. So that way, you already know it from kata. So we're going to do 10 of these together if you have your pillows at home ready, or you can just do them in the air again, as long as you keep your form correct and you're not hurting yourself in the face. Ow, that's not fun. Hitting the cat. You don't want to do that. All right, ready? Ich, ni, san, chi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, ku, and ju. Now remember, we don't have to just yell out numbers. We can kiai too, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's say 5. Really big kiai. Aya! 1, 2, 3, 4. And for 5 really big kiai. Aya! Just like that. So we want to get that extra boost, that like 18% more power. We're young, we're being loud. That's what it's all about. So I'm going to pass the pads across. And Miss Rebecca will do our palm strikes. So she's in her front stance. And she's going to use the palm of her hands.
Not your fingers, the palms.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and aya.
Like that kiai at the end, like the big finish, the whole thing. And one more time. This time, let's try doing one pillow. We'll see how it works.
Okay.
So if you just have one pillow at home, if you have someone hold it for you, you can do that too. You see, you just have to be more accurate.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and aya.
10. Awesome. So you can do these with one pillow or 2. For these ones, just because you're turning so much and you've got so much built up power, it's recommended that you use 2 if you can. Or go in the air and just make really big movements. All right, we'll pass the pads across one more time. If you have a sibling at home, it's always good to pass the pads across just like we do in class. That way you guys get both equal practice. And not someone's getting too good at pad holding and the other one's getting too good at hitting. That's not a good balance. So for this last one, remember we're doing what?
Kiai.
We're doing kiais and elbow strikes. Make sure that kiais are really, really loud. I mean, if mom or dad is sleeping, you can be a little bit quieter. We gotta be polite. But same thing as before. Thumbs down to the bad guy. This time I'm using my elbows, not my fists. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, hiya! Just like that. All right, and that is all for our using our hips. So the lesson I would like to have you learn here is that even though we're still punching and using our arms and our upper body, it's important that we focus in with our whole body and we use the bottom as well. You know, hips are really important. That's why we're talking about power comes from our hips. And power comes from using our voice and articulation.
Yes.
All right. That's my lesson.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.